encourage these young ladies into technology. Again, when we look into inclusivity, we have a program whereby disabled can be served and can be serviced into our outlets through technology. So as an enabler, as a technology, I see it's a critical element to discuss all elements of connectivity in 360, from agriculture, from individual user, from the business side, from corporate side, from NGOs, from different angles, we in collaborative way. So to ensure that we don't leave anyone behind as our key agenda of connectivity. Apart from that, when it comes to connectivity, we talk about mobile money. So it means we are servicing our community through mobile money in the regions, in the rural areas, whereby the less advantaged get access to income, get access to security and such. So looking at this, I think is quite broad to unpack at the moment, but it's quite important to see how we're coming together as to support the communities, how are we coming together to ensure everybody plays part in it in their space. I think it's very important. What is happening at the moment, we have also in collaborations with the government, we have collaborations with entrepreneurs, we have collaboration with digital accelerators that are coming, digital driven youth that are coming up to support the community, to ensure we don't leave anyone behind as our purpose and an agenda. It doesn't matter where you're located, it doesn't matter where you're sighted, it doesn't matter that you're disabled or you're not, but we're ensuring that everybody's in fit into technology. It doesn't matter it's a business or it's an individual. It doesn't matter it's a multinational or international organization. It doesn't matter. But all in all, we're ensuring everybody's connected in Africa. And in reality, we are working in different countries in Africa. So the avenue of partnership, the avenue of working together as an enabler is quite critical for Vodacom. So that is for me.
Thank you so much, Eileen, for your initial introduction. I would like also to learn further on how Vodacom is connecting Africa, but I have some questions for you already. But at this point, I'll also like to welcome our audience. If you have any questions for the panel, would you please use the public chat function, which is on the upper left of your screen, to write those questions, and in the course of this discussion, we shall address them to the panel. Next is Dr. Beatrice. If we could please unmute, the stage is yours.
Thank you, and good morning from my side, because I'm still in Germany, and it's very nice to meet all of you. And it fits very good to my contribution, fits very good to Eileen's contribution, because we are trying to create an agri-entrepreneurship factory in Africa. This is a digital device to educate young farmers in new tech and clean techs, and also educate them to use financial instruments and also create financial instruments to support this branch, as well as companies. We attract companies to come over there and help us to create the system not only as an educational system in itself, but also as applied education system. We create hubs in different African countries together with universities in place, where the young farmers can establish the young little farms and apply the knowledge we teach them with the help of experts from all over the world, but of course of Germany, that teach them in sustainable concepts in new tech and clean techs, and also about the financial instruments they can use as microfinancing and something like this. We also want to introduce and have already a company that introduces insurances, because as I learned through my own experiences with young farmers that it is very tricky if they have an accident or a health disease to finance this without being completely out of the business. And this is therefore also a very good thing. Then we create an e-commerce platform to sell other products, and also we try similar to this digital Silk Road plan of the Chinese people with Winston Ma described once, a kind of AI and geographical information system where we can help to the distribution of the goods then of these young farmers that are located in these hubs, as well as an e-commerce platform where they can sell it. And yes, this is a combination of digital device as well as in place device, and should be a system that is self-sustainable. That means that some costs are already reinvested in the system, but of course the farmers earn their own products. It's a kind also of cooperative system where they can work together. They can get together the machines. The machines can be rented around in a system, and yeah, this is the plan in our agri entrepreneurship factory. And yes, we hope we are in a good development stage already, where we have farmers, we have some companies, and we have very good teachers from Germany, from big German companies, managers, as well as from very interesting universities as the TUM. And yeah, we start now with the help of an American online university, but we are also open to German universities, and we have connections to German associations and German NGOs that are working with Africa, and we create a system of this agri entrepreneurship factories for the young farmers. Female farmers are as well with us, as a strawberry farmer, and with consisting of females only, of women. They produce the strawberries, and we have some very interesting partners, and we are looking forward to establish this system now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beatrice. Later on, I would like to know a little bit more about the digital Silk Road initiatives that you are taking. But before we do that, we'd like to hear finally from Megan Kakure. If you could please unmute, the stage is yours.
Thank you, everybody, as well as to the EU Tech Chamber for the invitation to speak to this webinar today. So, as I'll begin, bridging the connectivity gap in Africa will require an appreciation of the social, cultural, economic, and political determinants of connectivity. In short, understanding that availing connectivity infrastructure or an internet connection does not directly bring about the connection's affordability or accessibility. So taking cue from this webinar's title, Connecting Africa to an Inclusive Network equally means centering people and shedding biases and illusions of what digital connectivity looks like. With increasing digitalization, we understand that the internet is speedily becoming a must-have, and subsequently, it's followed by a demand of faster connectivity speeds. This has led to the launch of the 5G network and research and development of sixth generation network. But the supply of faster generation connectivity risks exacerbating existing connectivity divides. For one, these recent generations are being rolled out in urban areas, and it is unlikely that network operators will leapfrog 5G or 6G to locales that have yet to be served by existing networks. So consequently, there's an imminent risk that accessibility divides will further be widened with the new generation networks being rolled out. In Kenya, where I am currently based, the leading telecommunication operator launched 5G, which is a laudable effort, but concerns emerged that its high installation cost, expensive smartphones, and pricey plans places 5G out of the reach of most Kenyans. Accompanying this connectivity migration is the risk of increased affordability divides for both the internet and connecting devices for which various communities will have disparate online experiences. A study by the Alliance for Affordable Internet reported that in 2022 in Sub-Saharan Africa, people spent an average of 39% of their monthly income to purchase the cheapest smartphone available in the market. We use mobile connectivity as a convenient yardstick for assessing internet coverage and reach, but an inclusive network largely based off mobile-only internet connectivity is limiting. Africa's general and digital economy will make hard progress where a large percentage of its citizens interact with the internet only on mobile-only internet connectivity vis-a-vis computer-enabled internet access. For a majority of us in this webinar, you'll attest that you can hardly run your daily life with a mobile phone-only internet connection. So as far as this discussion and connectivity, we must also contend with legacy inequalities, such as income that pervades every facet of any digital experience. So how do we move forward? The continent is truly in need of investment in connectivity infrastructure, but players of the industry must reckon that the landscape is cost intensive, but should not expect unreasonable returns, and must lower the cost enough to enable connectivity uptake. This can be a very good lesson, especially for new entrants such as Starlink that has started receiving or applying for licensing network licensing. Partners must work with, incoming partners must work with local partners. The states must do its part to reduce taxes on data and handset and grant licensing frameworks to alternative network frameworks such as community networks. And we must also increase digital literacy among underserved communities to bring to the light the need to take advantage of digitalization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan. And now I would like to open the floor for questions and answers, but I see Dr. Beatrice's hand.
Yeah, because I forgot somebody very important, that my agriculture professor that's coordinating the agriculture questions is Dr. Ikechi Akpukpa. He's also a member of your Africa Alliance. Therefore, I just mentioned only the German experts, but the main expert for our program is Dr. Ikechi Akpukpa.
Thank you. And Dr. Ikechi, a happy new year to you as well. And now, as I mentioned, the floor is open for questions and answers. Please will you use the public chat function to pose the questions to the panel. But in the meantime, as you're getting to that, I have some questions for the panel from your introduction. And to Eileen, I was curious to find out what are the target audience for you as an enabler when it comes to connecting Africa through an inclusive network?
Yes, thank you. So basically, our target audience is everybody. Our target audience is everyone. That's why our purpose is driven, and we say connectivity for all, and we're not leaving anyone behind. And when we say that, it means a lot. It means like we really mean that we're not leaving anyone behind. In the rural area, we provide solutions that are for rural. When it comes, for example, agriculture, as I mentioned. When it comes to technology advancement, we have now moving into IoT space is something that we are looking at as well. So we are looking both in evolution way to reach everybody, and our partners is everyone, individuals that are customers, and we say they are key partners. Again, we're looking into partners like multinational organization. We're looking for partners like upcoming digital small companies. I can say the direction into SME. Again, we're looking even into gender-based. We're looking at what are we doing for women? What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for the marginalized groups? This is, I can say, to be honest, I think this is for all, and we really mean for all. Again, when it comes to even into sectors, we are looking into different sectors that we're serving. We're looking into mining sector, we're serving those people. We're looking into areas to work also with the UN agencies to support our communities. So for us, we can say our key partners are the community, but also our key partners into is the community that we serve. And again, we're looking at what are the technologies that are coming in. And saying that, what I can say is we're welcoming also people with with the new businesses, with the new ideas, with the new, I can say, social enterprise also, with even NGOs to work with, and also not only that, just to work with, but also we support integrations. When it comes to, for example, M-Pesa, this is a platform that can work and it can support the community through M-Pesa, or it can support the Ministry of Health. Is where we can come as an enabler, not only in the internet bit, but as a total solution. When we say total solution, it means not only from the traditional GSM that we're using to like calling, which is quite critical right now. You cannot move without your phone. But the reality is the total solution when it comes to internet, when it comes to other advanced solution that we can sit with developers and say, you know what, Vodacom is coming here as an enabler. What can we do to support this community? What can we do to support in the education angle, which we actually do? What can we do to support the health sector, what we actually do? How can we work with different partners in saying like we're moving into IoT to track? We're doing that of course also in the and in the health sector. You can see the program like M-Mama is something that we are doing as Vodacom. Apart from the agriculture element, when it comes to connectivity, they are affordable. There's a way that we do it is to serve the communities around, to serve the community in Africa. When it comes to wholesale as well, when it comes to wholesale business, we do cross-border connectivity. When it comes to business partnership, also we do global partnerships. So I think we are quite open to ensure that we collaborate to take our communities into a different level. And again, we say for everyone, I know for sure technology sometimes it can not include everyone, maybe people with disabilities. I think that is critical agenda for Vodacom, and we are quite passionate about it. Not only being passionate, but we have service that support them. So you can just imagine that we mean that we're not leaving anyone behind, but not only from the business, from community, just start engaging, but also when it comes to environment. I think we are pushing the agenda of environment, put the planet green. I think that is something that we are pushing. So we are doing and we are acting, and we are quite passionate about it, to take the community to another level, to take the world into another level, to take Africa into another level, to see, okay, where can we collaborate more, and how can we come together to integrate? How can we collaborate more to ensure that we deliver the purpose that everyone's want to meet to the particular agenda that they're pushing? Because at the end of the day, what we believe is whoever starts something or whoever is driving a mission, the end is the community. The end is the community. So all together we can sit and put the matter and discuss the way forward. Because at the end of the day, also with this technology, it's a push of big data. And I think without technology, we cannot move into a vision of saying, okay, we have this bigger data. Because without the bigger data, without the data, is something that you cannot make the decisions which are quite impactful to the community. So I think synchronizing with us as an enabler is something that we can really and we are open to discuss in any angle. It doesn't matter even in your territory, you are in a development sector. It doesn't matter you are in education sector, in health sector, and the government come at the middle. So we're working in collaboration with all to ensure everything is moving to the direction that we want and to take Africa into another level.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eileen. I got really excited when you mentioned M-Pesa. I think we're coming from East Africa, or you've visited East Africa before, you know how crucial M-Pesa is to transact businesses even in the remote areas. Maybe Eileen, if you can stick with you for a minute, and then also I'll address this question to Megan. Maybe can you elaborate more on the tech trends that are dominant in Africa? This is a question from Henning in the public chat.
Yes. So when we look into tech trends, it's quite we're moving into, we're evolving into IoT. I think everybody have heard about Internet of Things, and I think it's quite critical, and you're moving into that direction. And again, if you look into technology evolvement, I mentioned satellite at the beginning. I know Elon Musk is coming with satellite and is coming to do. We have already started negotiation in to be signed up, but the reality is we already started. As in the Vodacom perspective, we already started long time ago. We started that to cover the areas in really not only rural. You can say rural, but there's more than a rural, which is the park, like national parks. I think those are the area also we are looking at to do that. But when it comes to not only on the technological trends, again, we talk about platforms. Again, inclusion for all. We're looking at the platforms, like we have a platform called Mkulima, which talks to agriculture. And when you look into the population in Tanzania, almost 67% plus is actually agriculture. Again, when you look into that aspect, and how do we digitize that in Africa? How do we digitize every country? I think we are playing a very critical element in there. So it's an integration. It's Mkulima, yes, it's a platform, but M-Pesa and it's connectivity in it. I think to make sure like they are reachable, the farmers get notification out there, so they know the climatic conditions. They can get microloans, because at the end of the day, they need a support towards technology to reach out there. And again, the involvement of technology, apart from IoT to platform and such, big data. I mean, big data is an element that is everywhere at the moment. You can talk about big data. This really work very well with investors, and if you're integrating with us, definitely your platform can be able to have a secure data that can sort a country or a continent problem. I think those the technological trend. Again, now we are moving to the world of metaverse. I think that we can push into another time, but the reality is the technological is moving very fast. We cannot say we are leaving behind anyone. So everyone will be coming on board, and they have to come on their own space. Right now, maybe I'm in the IoT space already. Okay, how do I evolve myself to metaverse? I mean, how do I involve myself there? I think these are the things that we need to challenge each other. Again, when we say, okay, inclusion for all, do we really mean what we say, inclusion for all? Does it mean really we don't leave anyone behind? So as an enabler, we are in there already, and we are more open to discuss what are we saying around the inclusion. And again, when it comes to businesses and multinational, is your business digitized enough? Is your business have reliable connectivity? Is your business expanding? How can you expand with the reliable partner? And how can you make sure like we are serving the communities as a joint or a collaborative way to sort the issues, or to sort the societal or communities problem in every angle? It doesn't matter what, but I think the issue is the evolvement in technology is moving really quick and fast. So we have to make sure we collaborate to sort community issues.
Thank you so much, Eileen. It's great to see that Africa is also on the same trend, IoT, big data, and the metaverse. Dr. Beatrice, now I'd like to ask you a question. I remember I promised I'll ask you about the Digital Silk Road Initiative, and I was a little curious how connective infrastructure could look like. Maybe also is it like a digital or a physical way to connect farmers, turn villages into centers of e-commerce, important in the supply chain management. Yeah.
Yeah. Svetlana, the thing is, we create a platform with the Agro Entrepreneurship Factory for education. We also have, as I already mentioned, hubs in physical presence, means together with universities, but also together only for young farmers. We have farmers spread over the country, not in hubs, but all alone, so we can connect them on a virtual base. Yeah, we have also a virtual possibility to connect them and educate them. And also we have these hubs in presence where they produce the products. The products has to be sold, therefore we need infrastructure to sell also the products. So this, we want to create also an e-commerce platform with e-commerce possibilities and also financial instruments, pay systems and something like this, that the farmers can pay, that they purchase the products. With this instruments, you can even turn villages into centers of e-commerce, faraway villages. But of course, you need government initiatives to build the right roads for transportation, because alone e-commerce will work, but not only alone. So it has also to be an exchange with the physical possibilities. There, I saw in the Silk Road Initiative, for instance, a combination of AI and geographic information systems that could be very good for these purposes. That makes it easier to deliver the goods in the regions around, and with addition to the e-commerce platforms we will have then. We will have also, as Aline mentioned, possibilities to satellite technologies, because young managers from the BayWa, for instance, will educate our farmers in digital farming. This is daily working together with ESA in this project, and these are projects for water management, and we have also projects for water storage. We have projects for vertical farming and aquaponics, and these are the technologies we want to apply and introduce in our education system, but also in our e-commerce system. That means we welcome companies that supports us. We welcome initiatives that supports us, of course. And as I already mentioned, this insurance systems we need, because due to my practical knowledge from supporting young Africans, I know a lot of their problems, what they have in the rural areas when they are located there. It's a quite attractive and a difficult situation they are in most of the times. And we are accustomed to have, if we have an accident with a car and because of bad roads, they need to buy new cars. They cannot buy new cars, but they need to buy re-imported cars, for instance. And these are all problems from the practical side that we also want to integrate in the system. We don't want to be only a think tank for things. We want to apply these things that are in practical need, but try to construct the system of the Agro Entrepreneurship Factory according to PETS, a foreign policy ecosystem, that we include all the factors that are important for these young persons and create young farmers and entrepreneurs on this sector, because Africa is a country with a lot of young people, and we have to bring them into business and be responsible for themselves, be young and hip entrepreneurs, and they can be. It's possible because we have the technology devices, and if the countries also are in the position to create the infrastructure to also the roads, to better the roads and the systems, and also supply the whole country with the possibility to use this e-commerce possibilities and the digital devices, means the digital connectivity, then we have a good chance to get the plans that we want.
Thank you. so much, Dr. Beatrice, and I know you have maybe just 5 minutes left with us. So please, audience, if you have a question for Dr. Beatrice before she leaves, this is an opportune time that you can use to address it. Also, dear panel, I would like to invite you to answer some of the questions directly in the public chat in the interest of time. There have been questions about how to find your profile that I just read, and also I'm going to invite you in a short while. I'll leave the link to the networking meeting in the public chat. So, dear audience, you can find us next week, building on ideas and cooperations on connecting Africa through an inclusive network, leaving no one behind in the whole digital or creating a digital divide. So, Megan, there's been a question directed to you in the public chat, and Dennis is asking, are there any policies that challenge the faster adaptation of internet technologies? And sorry, before you answer it, Megan, sorry, I'm sorry, Lewis and Ahmad, I think your hands were raised. If you could leave your questions in the public chat, I will be sure to address them to the panel. But now, Megan, please.
All right. So, sorry, would you want me to answer the question in the chat section?
Yeah, sure, you can do that. So just go ahead and then answer the question in the public chat. But then Dennis also has one directed to Eileen about the mobile money that is M-Pesa is a solution, but most people use airtime. Easily, can airtime be used? If so, why is this not an implemented solution? So the question is a bit than the section I've read, Eileen. I don't know if you've been able to spot it. It's from Dennis at around 9:40. Yeah. So.
Oh, you have a question. Okay, good. Then, what is it? I didn't see it in the moment.
No.
Not me.
Not to. This one was to Eileen. Yeah, Eileen, and
okay.
Yeah, I
then
think she's raised hand. Please go ahead, Eileen.
Yes, thank you very much. Basically, yes, I've seen that. Really, so I think technology normally evolve, and I think adoption is quite critical here. And I think it's quite important to keep on educating communities around the benefit when it comes to M-Pesa or financial inclusion through mobile. So I think it's very important to educate the community more. And again, when it comes to airtime, I think this is a different platform. And I think when it comes to airtime, it's regulated by the telecom regulator. But when it comes to financial or anything related to finance, they're regulated with the finance regulator, I think, in different countries. So they're operating differently. So changing the airtime to be money to be used, I think that is something that needs a bit of a thought, a bit of the thought there. But as it stands, being regulated differently, I think the direction where it is at the moment, I think is the right direction. What we need to do is to educate more or on that to our communities. And of course, when it comes to M-Pesa, given in East Africa, and of course some countries are also expanding into it, I think it's very it's moving in the right direction. And I believe the evolution that we are in, it will reach a time whereby the person who wants to use airtime as money is something that they'll say, wow, this is something that I can use. Because when it comes to M-Pesa, you can use not only the application, you can use the USSD, whereby not all individuals or not everybody in the community they have smartphone, but also this factor in even non-smartphone users.
Yeah. So also in the public chat, I've left the link to our next networking meeting that will happen at the Africa Alliance on January 25th. 9 a.m. Central European Time. Please click on the link, register, and then you will receive a link to join the networking meetings to build more ideas on ICT. And then one question from Eleni Kisiri. Maybe either of you can just raise your hand and take it. Financial illiteracy is a huge issue all over the world. Are there ways organizations offering knowledge, for example, to help? And what are Africa's characteristics that should be taken into account in these initiatives? So feel free, dear panel, if you'd like to react to this question, to unmute and respond. Or as Megan did. Oh, Jean, please go ahead.
Yeah, the element of education, the element of education, as I mentioned, is for everyone, and we are evolving, and I think it's responsibility for everyone to do that. But definitely through different forums, through different engagement, through our own ground teams, we reach the people in the villages. We reach the people, for example, as mentioned, farmers. We reach them, and the access or the main element when it comes to platform like that is M-Pesa. So definitely, it will reach a time whereby inclusion, when it comes to financial inclusion, it will be for everyone. It will be like everybody has access to it. It will be for security purposes, not only that, but for the daily transaction. So we are doing that in the SME sector. We are doing that into individual level. We are doing that to rural areas. So I believe we are moving in the right direction. And through our teams, through collaborations, through the technology involvement and partnership is something that we can make sure all community is connected to that.
Thank you so much, and thank you also, Megan, for the response to Dennis. But Megan, maybe to ask, how can we best exist with the technology?
All right, thank you for the question. So briefly, I will say we need to move beyond the hype and avoid techno solutionism. So right now, there's so much hype on artificial intelligence, but we forget that there is a concealed human labor deployed to make AI and automated system function properly. We have content moderators, data annotators, and labelers who are working under conditions that are very exploitative. Systems like ChatGPT, much as they are complementary to our existing world, the data that they collect will not be given to governments, for instance, under a digital public good. So we need to move beyond the hype and demand for more accountability. We also need to cease throwing technology solutions to systemic social challenges. In other words, reordering complex social problems as challenges that are primarily must be solved with computational resolutions. We need to, if we're going to resort to technological fixes, we also need to have adequate structural implementation systems for the same. So governments and all stakeholders must appreciate that for technology to deliver on its intended goal of economic growth or overall improvement of citizens' lives, these virtues must be embedded in and during the duration of the operation of the system.
Thank you so much, Megan. And maybe one last question to Eileen before we wrap up this session. We have one from Zachariah, who is asking, it's a question to all speakers actually, so also Megan, if you'd like to respond, please, you're welcome. We are a German-based B2B wholesale connecting African artisans to European retailers, and we struggle usually with getting data and statistics about different markets in Africa. How do you deal with that? Any tips on how to get better market data? I remember Eileen, you mentioned something about data in introduction.
Yes. So also when it comes to data, there's the data privacy when it comes to data, like Vodacom sharing the data somewhere. However, we have different ways of working. For example, you are integrating with us your platform will carry the data you want. However, also, I think for the advice for case of Tanzania, I can say you can reach out different ministry. Sometimes they normally have an overview around the data, and of course, to know exactly this is the area that I'm looking at, and this is the information I'm looking at. But with the GDPR, it's important to take that a note. The data is private, but through integration in your platform, you'll be able to track that as you grow.
Thank you so much for the response, Eileen. Maybe if Megan, you would like to add on privacy law and etc.
Updates on chat.
Sure. And then just for clarity, Eileen is from Tanzania and Megan from Kenya. But now at this point, we are nearing the end of our discussion today. As Megan is typing in the chat, maybe Eileen, some last words to some parting shots to the audience, and then as we move towards closing the discussion.
Thank you very much. Basically, what I can say, connecting Africa through inclusive network is quite critical for our continent. It's quite critical and is a responsibility for everyone. Is a responsibility to ensure that we collaborate or we create partnership that have purpose, the partnership that has sustainability, the partnership that will sort community community matters sustainably, and it doesn't matter what kind of engagement you have, especially when the things which are purely regarding in sorting society issues. I think is important to partner, and for us, we are quite open, as I mentioned, to partner and collaborate in different aspects, in different angles, to take our communities to more advanced level. So, because of this, the evolution it will mean different to every individual, and the evolution it will mean different to every business, and the evolution will mean different to every partner. So it's quite important to see how we collaborate and move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eileen. I see Megan, you're unmuted. Yeah. Do you want to get in some last words as we move towards the close of the webinar? Sure, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, so we need to look at the entire ecosystem as a whole in terms of connectivity. There's the part for regulators to play, there's the part for investors, tech accelerators, incubators to play. So we need to break down barriers and walls in which we view the entire ecosystem in isolation and bring everybody on board. We all have a part to play. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear panel, for this insightful contributions that you've made. Our audience, going by the public chat, our audience has really enjoyed this session. Very much appreciated. And now, as I promised at the beginning of our webinar, that at the end of this discussion, we'll have a little gift to our panel in appreciation for taking the time to prepare and also to avail themselves here today. It is no easy task. And that we have a tree that has been planted for Eileen in Africa under the EU Tech Climate Action Partnership. And we have one that has been planted for Dr. Beatrice and one for Megan. I will share these tree certificates with you shortly after the webinar via email, and please feel free to celebrate this achievement with the network on LinkedIn and other social media. But for our dear panels, to continue with the discussion, get to know more about the panel and how the Africa Alliance is working to connect the last mile in Africa. I'd invite you to our networking meeting next week, January the 25th, 9 a.m. Central European Time. I've left the link in the public chat function. Also, please welcome to join the Africa Alliance LinkedIn group to keep updated on our latest developments with the Africa Alliance. And it is 10 a.m. Central European Time. I don't have any other additions at this point. It's a bye-bye for me from now. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.